The US Navy didn't just strike the Houthis, they obliterated their port in a way no one saw coming. After losing their defenses and missile sites, the Houthis made one last desperate move. What happened next was an unbelievable fight that almost flipped the battle, but the US Navy crushed them before it was too late. Stick around, because you won't believe how it all went down. The first US strike began exactly at midnight on March 16th. The destroyers USS Stout and USS Jason Dunham unleashed a full barrage of Tomahawk missiles. The target was fresh Houthi bases, hidden spots where they could launch attacks. These bases were wiped out within minutes. The explosions lit up the night sky, but something else was already moving under that smoke. Back at an airbase in Turkey, B-1 bombers were rolling out again. They had just refueled and loaded a new batch of deadly AGM-158 JASSM missiles. These missiles could fly over 370 kilometers, meaning these bombers didn't even need to get close to danger. The Houthis' air defenses were in pieces, and the few weapons they had left were too old and too weak to reach the bombers. The B-1s flew in, dropped their payload, and turned back toward base. Another clean strike. They had no idea they had just taken out one of the largest UAV bases the Houthis had left. It should have crippled them completely, but somehow the Houthis kept fighting. At sunrise, the F-35Cs from the USS Harry S. Truman launched into the clear morning sky. Their mission was simple: destroy two major Houthi weapon storage facilities. The jets swept in low, fast, and silently. No radar warnings, no alarms. Their missiles found the targets perfectly. Another blow landed. The ship crews finally relaxed a little, thinking the worst was over. Breakfast was being served on the Truman. In the distance, the sea was calm. Alarms screamed across the decks. Incoming contacts were detected, dozens of them. It wasn't a few missiles this time. It was everything the Houthis could throw at them, all at once. The main target was the USS Gettysburg, a guided missile cruiser built for exactly this kind of moment. But even the Gettysburg wasn't ready for a swarm this big. Its radar lit up with hundreds of signals. The Gettysburg weapons could only engage about 12 to 18 threats at once. They were facing far more than that. The crew had seconds to decide what to do. Standard procedure said to fire 2 defensive missiles at each incoming threat. The captain realized that if they followed the rulebook, they'd run out of ammunition before the real attack even began. He made a call that could either save them or sink them. Fire only 1 missile per thread. No backups, no second chances. The ship's VLS cells roared open. SM-2 missiles launched into the sky one after another. On the radar screens, incoming threats blinked out as each missile struck its target. One after another, Houthi missiles fell out of the sky. Some were hit directly. Some were thrown off course by near missiles. A few slipped through. 2 missiles got dangerously close. The Gettysburg fired its emergency backup. 2 ESSM missiles, smaller, faster, built for last-ditch defense. Both found their targets and exploded the incoming missiles just 10 miles from the ship. The Gettysburg had survived, but barely. Down in the engine rooms and command centers, the sailors could feel the vibrations from the nearby explosions. Everyone knew how close they had come. It wasn't just a battle outside, it was a race against time inside. Engineers worked non-stop, making sure the ship's systems stayed alive. Damage control teams moved fast, checking for any hidden impacts. Word spread quickly across the fleet. The Houthis were still a serious threat, and they had more tricks up their sleeves. The US Central Command realized the old tactics weren't enough. They needed to hunt the Houthis' mobile command posts, small, fast-moving pickups loaded with radios, hiding among civilians. They rolled out a weapon almost no one had seen used in real combat: the GBU-53 Stormbreaker. This wasn't just a smart bomb, it was practically alive. It could track heat signatures, see through smoke and sand with radar, and follow moving targets with a laser, all at the same time. Dust storms, smoke screens, or nightfall didn't matter. If it moved, the Stormbreaker could find it and destroy it. American jets armed with Stormbreakers began sweeping across the battlefield. Houthi command vehicles that thought they were safe vanished in seconds. One by one, the Houthis' ability to coordinate attacks crumbled. Pilots reported seeing enemy vehicles trying to blend in with civilian traffic. Some even parked next to schools and markets. But the Stormbreakers' targeting systems were so precise they could strike only the enemy vehicle without hurting the ones nearby. It changed the whole game. No hiding, no running. But the Houthis still had one last move. They launched a drone swarm. Not 2 or 3 drones, but hundreds. Fast, low-flying, tricky to spot until they were almost on top of the fleet. It was a desperate gamble. Instead of relying only on ship defenses, the Truman's air wing was scrambled. Every available F-A-18 Super Hornet launched immediately. The fighters were armed not with bombs, but with AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles, air-to-air killers designed to take down anything flying. The Super Hornets used their upgraded IRST Block 2 systems to track the drones. Instead of looking for radar signals, they hunted by heat. Tiny drone engines, barely hotter than a car hood, were enough. The pilots quickly realized that if they tried to shoot down every drone one by one, they'd lose. So they flew in tight formations, picking off clusters of drones at once. Machine gun fire ripped through the sky. Missiles darted between the clouds like angry hornets. It was one of the largest air-to-air battles fought by the Navy in decades. Over the next 7 hours, the fleet fought off wave after wave of drones. It wasn't a one-time strike. It was a slow, grinding, exhausting battle. Pilots ran out of missiles, landed, rearmed, and went back into the fight. Some drones got close, but none reached the fleet. Flight decks became battlegrounds too. Crews worked non-stop, refueling jets, loading new missiles, and fixing minor damages. Every second counted. Everyone from the captain to the lowest deckhand was in the fight. At one point, a drone almost crashed into the USS Stout. A young sailor manning the Phalanx CIWS, a rapid-fire gun designed for exactly this kind of threat, managed to blast it out of the sky just seconds before impact. Stories like that spread across the fleet, stories of courage, quick thinking, and teamwork. By the end of the day, the sea was calm again. Pieces of destroyed drones floated on the waves. Above, the smoke trails from countless missile launches faded into the sky. The Houthis had thrown everything they had at the US Navy and lost it all. But no one on the Truman strike group was celebrating. They knew this wasn't the end. Bigger battles were already being planned. Higher stakes, deadlier weapons. The officers met late into the night, going over new strategies. Rumors spread about even bigger drone swarms being prepared, maybe even drones armed with chemical payloads. The stakes were rising fast. The Navy wasn't just fighting to win battles anymore, they were fighting to prevent a nightmare. The next time they struck, the goal wasn't just to cripple the Houthis. It was to wipe them out completely, that they could never threaten anyone again. And that next strike was already on its way. If you thought this battle was crazy, trust me, the next chapter is even wilder. Bigger ships, newer weapons, and the fight isn't slowing down. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. The war is just getting started, and what's coming next will blow your mind.